So here's a little video I've been meaning to post. Now, there's a lot of famous horror directors, and they've given us some of the greatest things imaginable, no doubt about it. One horror director in particular I'd like to talk about is John Carpenter. Now, I'm Tony Mazzaro, I'm not John Carpenter. I'm trying to create my first independent horror film and very simply get it off the ground. So John is well more established than me, especially with his career in filmmaking, and not that he's going to care what I'm going to think, but I feel it's safe to get that off the ground. So John Carpenter and Deborah Hill wrote Halloween. They brought Michael Myers to life and gave birth one of the greatest horror icons of all time. Fantastic. Michael Myers is still well known to this very day, considering his first film appearance was done in 1978. John continues to do it again with The Thing, The Fog, Escape from New York. He's got a large body of work, some of the greatest horror films of all time. The only question is, what happened? And I only stress that as a what happened because if you look at John Carpenter's filmography, he does some fantastic stuff. And then right after The Village of the Damned in 1995, it all starts to get a little messy. Whether he lost his passion for making horror films, whatever happened. After The Village of the Damned in 1995, we start to get some pretty bad John Carpenter films. Village of the Damned is kind of borderline. I mean, it's not great, it's not good, but it's acceptable for what it is. Then he starts to do Ghost of Mars, and he does some other films that are not up to standard or caliber for John being John. This is the same director that did Halloween, They Live, The Thing, classic horror films that stand the test of time. So the real question is, what happened to John Carpenter? In a way, you look at it from the John Carpenter we knew, we loved, created Halloween, did his own reboot of The Thing. The Thing is the number one, in my personal opinion, horror remake slash reimagining of all time, standing on a level with David Cronenberg's The Fly. And then we get Ghost of Mars, you get John Carpenter's Vampires, you've got John Carpenter's The Ward. He does a short little segment on Masters of Horror called Cigarette Burns. He focuses more on composing music. I'm not taking anything away from John Carpenter. He's a living legend, so I don't want to get that confused with what I'm really trying to say. What I'm saying is, what happened? A guy brings Halloween to the table, creates Michael fucking Myers, creates The Thing, and then his last couple of feature-length films are Ghosts of Mars, Vampires with James Woods, which isn't very good in the first place. And that's just interesting to know that you can go from making some of the greatest horror films of all time to going down to a level that you kind of lose your passion. And that's okay. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. Not now, not ever. And me, I'm certainly not one to be judging John Carpenter. I haven't even completed Blood Sage yet, or even remotely made some of the bunny, let alone the 108-page script the film deserves to be. But it's funny how you look at directors, especially one like John, and wonder, what the fuck happened?